Welcome back to the Talking Hedge. I'm Josh Kincaid, and this is your Cannabis Business Podcast. Today, we're here live at the World Trade Center in Seattle. I'm here with Jim Makoso, founder of Lucid Oils. Jim is a cannabis extraction processing professional in the cannabis industry. In January 2015, he co-founded Lucid Lab Group, a cannabis extraction technology company based in Seattle. Jim's vision was to create a scientific approach to cannabis essential oil processing by utilizing customized capital equipment in combination with proven scientific processes. By taking a quality-centric approach, Jim has created a company culture known throughout the industry for quality in product and process. Prior to co-founding Lucid, Jim engaged Vuber Technologies as an angel investor in January of 2014. He joined the business management team, where he held the position of vice president responsible for strategic partnerships and business development until October of 2015. He remained on the board of directors until December of 2016, and by spearheading a business model focused on product development while maintaining a customer-first approach, Vuber has become a leading vaporizer company with strong partnerships that include manufacturers, cultivators, processors, and retailers throughout the U.S. Prior to his involvement in the cannabis industry, Jim was a finance professional in New York for 6 years. He holds an economics degree from Stony Brook University with a focus in business finance. Jim, thanks for being on board.
Thanks for having me.
And so here's a follow-up. So Canada is legalizing concentrates and infused products somewhere between October 17th and mid-December. So I've consistently seen emerging markets release beverage emulsions with an oil ring formation at the top in a bottle, which could result in a consumer imbibing large quantities of the active ingredients, producing what could be a series of negative outcomes. I've also seen billboards that say mold to gold, offering to buy moldy cannabis for the purpose of converting it into concentrate. So what's being done to increase the quality of these products to make them GRAS, generally recognized as safe, and recognized industry-wide as quality, stable, and safe product?
Well, you know, there's two parts to that question. We're working on a project right now. We're building an extraction facility up in Canada, and unlike the U.S. market, or at least the U.S. markets that we're a part of, Washington, Nevada, California, where there's been a robust medical market for some years, with the exception of Nevada. But let's just say in the West Coast in general, up and down the West Coast, there's been a robust medical marijuana market for a long time. So people are generally educated on the whole process out here and extracts. And you may need to kind of fill them in on some of the new things that are happening. In Canada, we've had to educate everyone from the ground up on everything, as simple extraction to more complex forms of extraction, etc. So when it comes to specifically types of products that are being produced and the quality of those products, mold to gold, for instance, we used to joke about that all the time when we first started in Washington, that we would take moldy material that people were throwing away and be able to convert that into gold, distillate in the case, which distillate at that time, not too many people were doing it. Kind of the guy that's kind of known for bringing that to the cannabis industry, the clear scientist, guy from Boston who moved to California and, started distilling oil for people on a short path distillation unit. And people went from seeing this black, crude garbage to this really transparent kind of gold looking distillate, blew people away, blew people's minds. So we started doing that type of service. And the reason why, you see this mold to gold, or the ability to take junk and turn it into extract. Now, there are ways to do it that are unsafe. If you're taking, number one, we personally don't like to work with any material that failed any type of microbial pesticide test in any of our facilities, because it's much harder to remove something once it's there than to not have it there in the first place. So we prefer to work with the best quality material. But if you're doing really, really high volume toll processing, where you're pulling in material from outside sources, not just inside of your own grow, you're always going to run into material that doesn't meet the highest quality standards, and where your responsibility is to still get out clean, high quality oil. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that. In fact, I think companies that figure out ways to take something that would otherwise be useless and still be able to extract out cannabinoids that they can put into products in a clean and safe way is totally feasible. Now, in the case of, let's just talk about mold. If you're using solvents to extract, specifically if you're using, let's say, alcohol kills mold. So you're going to be able to easily kill any mold that's in there and get a product that it has no microbial activity in it whatsoever, and no residual solvents from the solvents that you used. But you need somebody who's qualified and who has skill to do it. What I would say is, anytime you're producing any product for consumption, and this is a standard that we've held, and of course we're not as big as some of the really, really big companies that are doing this, but I would say we're fairly large. We would not put out any product that we would not ourselves want to consume. And I'm not saying that we're perfect. There are times that, like any company, especially in our infancy, where, when we were done with our product, we looked at it and we said, oh, we can't sell this. Like, we suck. We were terrible. You have those moments in a business where you produce something that you are not proud of, where you're staring at, hundreds of thousands of dollars of product, and you have to make that judgment call to put it back through the ringer, to extract it again, and to get it to a point where it's a product that you yourself would be comfortable to consume, so you'd be confident selling it. What I would say is, that's not every company. Not every company has that type of integrity where they're only putting out products that they themselves would consume. The difference between a company that lasts in this business, just like in any industry, and a company that doesn't, are companies that know that, yeah, you might be able to get away with something like that once, twice, 3 times. But if you're going to be in this industry for any long stretch, integrity, this industry, unlike many other industries, integrity is going to be a big part of why a brand lasts. People who consume cannabis definitely care about where it's coming from and who's providing it. And if you have a mark on your integrity card where, everybody you'll get a break one time, maybe even 2 times if you're a good brand. But after a period of time, if you show that you are putting out products that are not safe, you're going to go out of business. Like, it's going to happen. So, we're a big proponent of only producing products that you yourself would produce. And there's pretty strict testing protocols now for products that you put out that you have to go through in order to be able to put them on the market. So I would say in most of the regulated markets, the products that make it to the shelves are pretty clean. I would say that, do products still make it through? I'm sure they do. But that's going by the wayside, and it's because testing standards are just getting stricter and stricter. And from a consumer standpoint, that's fantastic.
So with that, we're going to roll this one up. I'm Josh Kincaid. This is the Talking Hedge. I want to thank my guest, Jim Makoso with Lucid Oils. Check him out. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, or don't. And I'm out.